lecturing. I
No,
was
we thank you. You're really saying the right thing.
No,
But
it's true. Because I'm there for 5 years, and sometimes, hanggang last minute, they submit in the BICAM. Why should they submit in the BICAM? Pag-isipan nila ang kanilang NEP, National Expenditure Program, the President's Budget. That's why ayaw namin ma-insertion sa BICAM. Kasi dapat kung mahalaga yan, nasa NEP na yan. And then they come to a senator during the plenary, isingit nyo to. Ayaw namin. Okay, we amend, but there's only limited fiscal space. And then now, a veteran congressman asks the first-term chair of the Finance Committee, why is it not there? I'm sorry, I have to answer for him. Of course, he can very much answer that. But if it's not in the NEP, what do we do? Right?
Ayan po, magandang araw, mga ka-reaction bay. Ito po, no, napakaganda po nating panunuorin o pag-uusapan dito, no? So, bago po ang lahat, isang like at subscribe lang po, masayang-masaya na tayo. So, ito po, pag-uusapan natin ngayon, tungkol po ito sa BICAM, no? Na nangyayari para sa budget 2026 po, no? So ito patungkol kay Senador Amy para sa mga AFP modernization, no? Na nilaan yata ang 35 hanggang 60 billion po ng kanyang sinabi, no? At nabanggit niya rin po yung mga sa Horizon 1, 2, and 3. Yan po yung mga part na pong AFP modernization na matagal na po yan. Kasi siyempre, yung Horizon 1, mas nauna yun, di ba? Yan. At pag-usapan din ho natin no, yung kay Senador Laurel Legarda at tungkol dun sa kay Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Yan ang mga ating pag-uusapan ngayon. So ito na po, dito na tayo dito sa para ayong sa AFP modernization na sangayon po si Senador Amy, no? So ito na po, diretso na ho tayo.
Occidental 5 million pesos. Construction of supply room for QMS items. New BDE HQS Negros Occidental 10 million pesos. Construction of 3-story 303 BDE quarters with mess hall and roof deck. New BDE HQS Negros Occidental 75 million pesos. Construction of 3-story VIP transient quarters with mess hall. New BDE HQS Negros Occidental 75 million pesos.
Observations that the amendments which we carried, which is actually what they asked for, are mostly infrastructure, but nothing that really strengthens our military capability. But I also take note that in the NEP, that's where they placed it. But I noticed, yes, it's mostly infrastructure development. Also take note that if we compute everything put together, including the NEP, the HGAB, if ever they did any amendment, and the Senate amendments, this only comprises 1% of GDP. And ideally, at least according to what they said during the hearing, we must invest minimum of 2% of GDP for our military. And that includes both air assets, our ground assets, and of course, being an archipelago, we must be prepared. And it does not even include the Coast Guard, which is, of course, civilian in nature. So we are underfunding our capability for our military strength. We need to invest more, perhaps in the NEP of 2027, but that's something I would not like to mention since we're live streamed, and we would not like to say to the world that we are militarily incapable. But okay, but it's obvious that we are underfunding it. Yes, but I appreciate your comment that yes, if you notice, puro vertical development.
Kasi
no?
since we're live streamed, Senator Lauren, people are asking and wondering, they're waiting na may mabasa rito sana na purchase or logistics or equipment.
Mga barko sa West
O
Philippine
puro
Sea,
construction.
That's true. You're
That's
actually
what
correct.
they're asking here, itong mga netizens po natin.
Yes. But actually, if you look at the NEP, the chair is correct in saying that's where they put it. But malaki po ang kakulangan kasi pag sama-samahin mo yan, 1% of GDP lang yan. So malaking kakulangan. Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Senator Amy.
Yes, Mr. Chair. You very patiently read out the exact locations of all this new infrastructure and some repair and rehab. However, the shift in our military operations from internal subversion to external threat is not manifested in any way in the infrastructure expenditure. I'm a little bit perplexed by that. The only visible change appears to be in the AFP modernization program, where the House as well as the Senate very generously almost doubled their expenditure. But it also behooves me to observe that there is no shift in the infrastructure expense that should reflect the shift towards external aggression, defense against invasionary and other forces from overseas, as opposed to the usual domestic insurgency that has plagued us for many, many decades. Yun lang. Bakit ganon? Kasi parati natin pinag-uusapan, hindi na NPA, hindi na Muslim secession, hindi na kung ano-anong domestic ang problema natin ngayon, kundi ang challenges sa ating tinatawag na territory, sovereignty, ECC at iba pa. Kaya nagtataka ako, ito naman puro sa mga infrastructure at mga building at gastos sa panloob. Bakit ganon? Bakit hindi nagpalit ang ating strategy? Parati natin pinag-uusapan. Yun lang po. Ganon din ang kinatatakutan ko sa kabila ng pagnanais natin na doblehin halos from 35 billion. Ginawa natin 40, tas ginawa pang 60. Eh baka naman yung bibilhin pa rin, small arms pa rin, na talagang kasi ito nakikita ko, manufacture, storage, and security of small arms, paano yung mga kinakailangan natin sa dagat, sa karagatan, at eto nga, sa Air Force, na wala naman tayo nakikita. Yun lang ang kinatatakutan natin.
Maraming salamat, Senator Amy at Senator Tulfo sa mga tanong. Meron din ho tayong AFP modernization program na 90 billion pesos, both program and unprogram appropriations. At typically ho, itong mga components ng AFP modernization ay pinag-uusapan po sa executive session because of national security issues. But rest assured na meron tayong pondo for the modernization. And tama ho si Senator Lauren na talagang kailangan po ay patuloy ang pagtaas po ng budget ng ating armed forces. In fact, with the AFP modernization, aabot po tayo to 1.25% of GDP. Alam ko medyo malayo pa yan sa 2% na recommended ng NATO. Pero at least tumataas po tayo dahan-dahan. Hopefully by in the next 3 years, umabot po tayo ng 1.5 para po talagang mabili ho natin at masuportahan ho natin ang ating armed forces ng mga kagamitan na kakailanganin ho nila. Tama si Senator Amy na nagsishift po to external defense. No? At kailangan natin ng suportahan siya doon.
Pero lahat ng pinapatayo, wala naman sa western sector, wala rin sa eastern, at konting-konti, isa lang yata o dalawa na banggit sa Taiwan Straits. Kaya nagtataka ako, bakit dito pa sa ating budget, you put your money where your mouth is, and we're not doing that. Isa pa, dito sa AFP modernization, sa haba ng panahon na hindi natin napopondohan ng tama. May natitira pa sa Horizon 1, may natitira pa sa Horizon 2, dapat natapos na yung Horizon 3, baka hindi na siya modern pag natapos yung modernization. The nature of war has changed significantly over the past few months, years, with the drone technology taking over almost all manned efforts. So I'm wondering if we're anywhere near that sort of technology. Yun lang po.
So yun po, no, narinig po natin ang binanggit po kasi ni Senador Amy tungkol dyan sa mga AFP modernization. Yung kasing mga iba kasing sabi niya, hindi po kasi napopondohan ng tama. Kasi po yung kagaya yung Horizon 1 ay nung 2013 hanggang 2017. 17 po na. Kung hindi po kasi napopondohan ng tama yan, talagang mapapag-iwanan na tayo. Kaya po si Senator Amy, yan po ang nabanggit niya yan, no? So yung Horizon 2 naman po, yan nung 2018 hanggang 2022. Hindi rin natin alam kung natapos na po yung mga modernization, yung mga, kumbaga project po, no? Yan. So yung Horizon 3, yan po yun ongoing. So nabanggit niya baka yung mahuli na to tayo sa modernization kasi hindi na po pondohan nga ng tama. So yan po. Kasi ang mga bawat horizon po yan ay mga plano at proyekto para sa mga kagamitan tulad ng mga radar, barko, eroplano, mga missile systems, at iba pang mga depensa, no? Yan po. So, ano po, ayan po yung siguro naintindihan nyo na yan, yung mga sinasabing mga horizon. So anyway, ano na po tayo kay Senador Laurel Legarda patungkol po dyan sa mga insertion, no, sa NEP. Kung makikita po paano siya nagalit,
Kong Rufus Rodriguez.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair, Mindanao is the second largest island in the Philippines with 26 million population. If you will look at the Department of Transportation, there is no railway system in Mindanao. We can recall that during the time of President Duterte, there was already a feasibility study, everything was ready for phase 1 of the Mindanao railway system, which is from Tagum, Davao City, and then Tigos. May we know the status of that because it was a very long project study. We spent so much for that, and may we know why there has been no implementation of this, the first railway project in Mindanao. Because in Luzon, you can see here, there is a North Rail, there is a South Rail, there is an East Rail, there is a West Rail, no single inch of rail in Mindanao.
According to the agency, to DOTR, the funder of Mindanao Rail backed out, or I think maybe backed out is the wrong term, but there was a mutual agreement not to pursue the loan program. This is according to the DOTR. But in 2025, they allocated 200 million for the Mindanao Rail project to continue the activities of Mindanao Rail. But of course, 200 million, hindi yung magkakasya to, no? So they're relying on another funder to come in to completely fund the Mindanao Rail. No? But that's still in the pipeline of the DOTR. Unfortunately, nawala po yung original funder. No? I believe it was the China. No? It was China who was supposed to fund Mindanao Rail. So they're looking for other funders for that.
Okay, juxtaposed with that is the railway, Mindanao Railway System Part 2, Phase 2, which is really from Misamis Oriental to Cagayan de Oro to Laguindingan and then to Iligan. And may we know because the project study, 100 million, was already completed. And may we know the status of that? Because then we have possible two railways so that, railway is always the cheapest form of transportation of goods and people. And may we know why there is nothing here yet about these two very important railway systems, which are good for 22% of our people who are in Mindanao, 22% of the 119 million Filipinos. Do we know about that? Why there's nothing here? Zero?
Mr. Congressman Rufus, it's not in the NEP. The agency did not request for that. So I think the most appropriate agency to talk to and inquire about that is the Department of Transportation.
Alam nyo, pare-pareho naman tayong mga nagtatanong sa ahensya. Yung mga ahensyang yan, sang-ayon ako sa inyo, kailangan. Bakit hindi linagay sa NEP? Hindi naman trabaho ng senador, ng chairman ng finance, sagutin ang ahensya, bakit wala sa NEP? Yun na yung tanong namin, bakit nga wala sa NEP? Mag-isip-isip sila, matuto sila gumawa ng budget nila. Bakit tayo mag-iisip ngayon, ba't wala sa NEP?
Thank you for the lecture,
Yeah.
Senator Loren.
I'm not lecturing. I
No,
was
we thank you really. You're really saying the right thing.
No,
But
it's true.
anyway,
Because I was there for 5 years and sometimes, hanggang last minute, they submit in the BICAM. Why should they submit in the BICAM? Pag-isipan nila ang kanilang NEP, National Expenditure Program, the President's Budget. That's why ayaw na ayaw namin ma-insertion sa BICAM. Kasi dapat kung mahalaga yan, nasa NEP na yan. And then they come to a senator during the plenary, isingit nyo to. Ayaw namin. Okay, we amend, but there's only limited fiscal space. And then now, a veteran congressman asks the first-term chair of the Finance Committee, why is it not there? I'm sorry, I have to answer for him. Of course, he can very much answer that, but if it's not in the NEP, what do we do, right?
I also agree with Senator Ligarda and the chair. So therefore, I think Secretary Banoy Lopez is listening to us now. The suggestion of our senator is probably in the next cycle for 2027, we should be able to have that.
If I may add, after this, let's organize the oversight committee so that walang masama, we are consulted when they do their NEP. Masama ba yun? Hindi. Kasi lahat ng output natin, sabi natin, bakit ang DND puro infra, ba't kulang sa ganito? So, example yung DND, bakit ito, wala yung Mindanao Rail? Agree kami dyan. Ano mang priorities nila, di ba? Kaya hearing tayo ng hearing. Gawa tayo ng monthly oversight committee ng bicameral. Tanungin nyo yan, kaagad. Sang-ayon ako dyan.
I agree again with Senator Ligarda. So, in fact, in the budget hearing of the DOTR in the House, there was a commitment of Secretary Lopez that there will be a roadshow precisely to get funders for the two railway phase 1 and 2, so that we can already, once there is a roadshow and there is a funder, then that's the time we can include. So I would just like to seek the support of all the senators and all the congressmen that the oversight will be created, and we would wish that DOTR would really go into the roadshow for these two projects, so that for the first time, Mindanao will have the two railway systems. So again, my thanks to Senator Gatchalian and Chairman Gatchalian and Chairman Mika Swansing for taking this up, the possibility already of the DOTR probably in the budget of 2027 already include amounts once we have funders already for these two vital, important projects for Mindanao, the railway system. Thank you so much.
So yun pala, no? Diyan po nagalit si Senador Legarda diyan patungkol diyan sa mga parang mga yung last minute doon po nagsasubmit sa BICAM na wala naman pong mga feasibility study. Ganyan po nagagalit. Tama naman ho si Senador, no? Legarda. Kasi po kung walang feasibility study, kung ibabagsak mo lang yun, talagang ang pera mawawaldas. Hindi mo alam kung kulang o sobra-sobra. Karamihan dyan, ang gagawin nila, siyempre pasobra ng pasobra. Di baling sumobra, wag lang kukulak kasi pwede daw nilang ibalik. Siyempre, pag alam nila sobra, may kukurkakutin. Di ba? So yun po, kasi po ang pinapatamaan niya dito ang DOTR. Kasi ang nagtanong dyan ay na si Congressman Rufus, no? Tungkol sa mga Mindanao Railway, so Bisaya na rin. Para siguro, maganda naman Maganda kung meron nga mga railway yan. Lalo na yung from Luzon to Mindanao. Hindi na tayo mag-aeroplano. Pero nasa atin na lang yun kung sinong gagamit ng train. Siguro medyo malayo, malapit-lapit, yan, mas maganda. Pero kasi pag malayo, pag ganyan, sa bagay, kung marami kang oras, pwede kang mag-train. Pero kung kulang ka sa oras, aeroplano, di ba? So, ganun lang. Pero maganda po yung nabanggit ni Congressman Rodriguez, patungkol dyan. Kailangan po talaga may mga railway dyan sa ating lugar ng Mindanao, no? So, kailangan talaga sa 2027 budget, nandyan na yan para maumpisahan na. Di ba? Yung pa lang yung, yung railway na yan sa Mindanao, meron na pala yung feasibility study sa panahon pa ni Tatay Digong nung siya pa ang presidente. So, ngayon sabi nga ni Senator Win, nag-back out lang yung mga nagpopondo. Yan. So anyway, dyan muna magtatapos. Bago tayo magtapos, pakipindot na lang like at subscribe. Yan, masaya na tayo dyan. So maraming salamat. God bless!